Nice.
What do you say, Susie? Should we start this?
And okay, here we go. Let's start. Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon to those of you on the West Coast. My name is Susie Childs, and I am the Dean of Students and the Director of Admissions at Winterline. We'd like to welcome all the students and parents and teachers and counselors who are with us this afternoon. We really appreciate you being with us. And I will let my colleague, Ben Welbourn, introduce himself.
All right. Yeah, I am the Director of Outreach and Recruitment at Winterline. So I work with schools and different organizations to partner and make sure that we get the best students from all over the place to join us on our programs.
Awesome. When you look at your screen, you see three boxes. Our third box, which is, you can't see the person or she's muted, that's Cara Faragama Murray. She's the of our team, and she's helping monitor the questions that are coming in. So please feel free to send us a question through chat. As the questions come up, we will try to answer them as soon as we can. So feel free to use that chat bar, which is right at the bottom of your screen, and just send us a question and we will answer it so everybody can see it and hear it and know what's going on. Sound good, Ben?
Sounds great.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about Winterline. Winterline is a 9-month program for a global skills gap year program that runs from September to, we go to 10 countries. We start out in the United States and we travel to Panama and Costa Rica in our first trimester. In our second trimester, we travel to Thailand, Cambodia, and India. And in our third trimester, we go to Spain, Germany, Austria, the Netherlands, and the United States. What we do is we also are learning 100 skills. And these are practical, real-world skills, skills that help you with your life and your career. And it's all experiential. Everything we do, we're not sitting in the class when is telling us or talking to us. We are learning and doing as we go to our several different places. We learn both hard and soft skills. A hard skill, scuba diving in Panama, or driving at BMW driving school, which they just did. And right now they're doing robotics, to some soft skills, anywhere from team building or mediation skills or mindfulness, so different things like that. We're working on really trying to develop a whole person. And our goal is at the end of our 9 months, we are hoping to have competent young adults. Then let's see the next slide. The next slide talks about what we do is we work with specific already established partners, and they are all over the world, and they are the experts in what they do. And so what we're doing, we're working with some partners, and we are developing specific short courses for the Winterline participants. So for example, when we partnered with National Outdoor Leadership School, or NOLS, in Lander, Wyoming, we developed a 2-day wilderness first aid course along with an 8-day trek in the Wind River Range. We worked with Outward Bound in Panama, and then there we were doing scuba diving, sea kayaking, windsurfing, sailing. We worked with Fairso. Fairso is a company in Cambodia, and in Cambodia, we had the students, they were learning how to sew a garment from start to finish. Now, Fairso is a unique partner because we were able to the Cambodian factory, really work as a Cambodian in the Cambodian factories and learn how to sew that garment. And we had to do it on the weekends when the workers were not there. So this was a unique partner that made a specific short course just for us. Currently, our students are in Austria, and they're working with robotics. And today there was a great picture that was sent, Ben, I hope you saw it, that of them creating the robotic and trying to really figure out the coding for it and how to work on it and work it so that it would be developed. Hopefully by the end of the week, they will make a robot and solve problems that they're trying to solve as they go through that course. So as we work with our partners, we work with specific people that are developing specific courses for our program. So as you see, in studying arts in Spain, we worked with Whistling Woods, the Bollywood film studio in India. Outward Bound was in Panama and Costa Rica. Central Square Theater is in Boston, and that's where our students at the end of the 9 months are going to put together learn how to put together a performance, and that will be a 2-week course in learning lighting, staging, everything about a performance. And our hope is that they come up with something pretty good about their 9 months. John Deere is a partner we're working with next year, and we're going to do that in Costa Rica. They're going to learn how to work either with maybe a tractor or a something big machinery. That's what I like about John Deere. Fair. So I explained Earth University is also in Costa Rica. That's where we work and learn about permaculture, and National Outdoor Leadership School. So that's just an example of some of our partners. With our 100 skills, we work on developing and do skills that are helping to develop our competent and confident young adults. And so we have established our skills through what we call the Nifty 9. And the Nifty 9 is the way that we develop and frame our curriculum, the Winterline curriculum. So we have anything from problem solving and critical thinking skills, that's working as a team, the robotics challenge, the one they are doing right now is in solving or critical thinking Nifty 9s. Our leadership and team dynamics, that's, for example, when they go out on knolls and they do the wilderness first aid, they do that leadership training, or any of the group challenges. When we're in Estes Park, and we start in Estes Park for our orientation, we did low ropes. We do really trying to work at all different dynamics of team and leadership as we go through these 100 skills. Communication skills, right here, he's learning how to make his Bollywood documentary film with Whistling Woods. So they were learning how to use the cameras and the audio and the audio, so they could learn how to do that. So they're developing their communication skills. Public speaking. Our students will give a presentation at the end of every trimester about something that they've done during that trimester. So we're really developing that broad range of skills. Our business and work life, that's when we'll be in Boston, and we'll do a startup boot camp. We're all customers. That's when they worked at Soria Moria and Paul de Bruyne, which they learned how to do hospitality skills. Our global society and governance is some of our negotiation skills, conflict resolution, our cross-cultural communication, our life skills, that's self-care, cooking. Our students are learning how to cook. Also managing their money. That's a big thing that they're learning how to do as they travel through the many different countries that they go to. Our physical world, the outdoors and the environment, they're learning to be comfortable and self-sufficient in the outdoors. And our students certainly did when they did their National Outdoor Leadership School course right away in September in the Wind River Range. Caregiving, which is when they're working on learning how to care for the sick or the elderly or for children. Specifically when they were in Jamkhed in India, when they were working with the Community Rural Health Project, they were really working on learning their caregiving skills and more of the medical skills there. And our last Nifty 9 of making and building, we're going to learn how to build a house, and we'll do that in Vermont at a partner called Yes Tomorrow. They're going to build a small, tiny house. And they learned how to study and work on permaculture and design when they were down in Costa Rica. So Ben, that's your 9 months, 10 countries, 100 skills.
Awesome. And we did just get a question in about financial aid. And in the chat bar, if you'd like to read, Cara actually just answered that, but we are going to get into that in a lot more detail in a few minutes. That is a question that I'm sure pretty much everybody here is interested in. So thank you for that question. So our program, our 3-trimester program is broken into 3-month chunks. And the first one is called Land and Sea, and it's really focused around physical skills. So it's really how to take care of yourself as you're traveling around. So it starts with an orientation in Estes Park, Colorado. And you really learn how to take care of yourself outside, and you're getting to know the group that you're going to be traveling with, because you do travel with a cohort of other students. So the first trimester is relating to land and sea, and from the United States you head to Colorado and to Wyoming, and we work with NOLS, and there you get certified in wilderness first aid. You do some backpacking and trekking in the mountains, and really just dive right into how to take care of yourself out in the wilderness, and how to take care of the people around you too. From there, you head to Latin America, and we work with Outward Bound in Costa Rica, and that still thinking about land and sea and the physical world and everything. You're working on scuba certification and swimming and boating skills and how to take care of boats, sailing, kayaking, and hiking with Outward Bound as well. Another partner we have is Rancho Mastatal, which is around permaculture and natural building and infrastructure. So using the world around you to create your housing and everything. Mm-hmm. And John Deere, as Susie mentioned earlier, we're going to start working with them this coming program, which is pretty exciting. And I think the technical term she used was big stuff. So use a lot of that.
That's the best way to describe it, Ben. Big stuff, fun stuff to play with.
And then we work with the Monteverde Institute in Costa Rica. And that is around our independent projects, which we'll get to in a bit too. So we have independent study projects for each trimester. And through them, students for their independent projects have done reforestation and studies on the tree canopy, and they worked with recycled tires to make handbags and shirts and all sorts of cool stuff. And then we also work with United World College of Costa Rica. So the first trimester is a really good launching off point to feeling comfortable on your own feet, and then we move on from there. This is a video from one of our students who's on the ground right now, named Welbourn. He's from Georgia, and this is a video that he put together after completing the first trimester. So I'll play that now.
Think I can fly. Think I can fly when I'm with you. My arms are wide, catching fire as the wind blows. I know that I'm rich enough for pride. I see $1 billion in your eyes. Even if we're strangers till we die. I wanna run away. I wanna run away. Anywhere out this place. I wanna run away. Just you and I. Chase the moon and sun when I'm with you. Give it all away. Catch it. I don't gotta let you cry. I see $1 billion in your eyes. Even if we're strangers till we die. I wanna run away. I wanna run away. Anywhere out this place. I wanna run away. Just you and I.
All right, so that may have been choppy on your end. It was definitely choppy on mine, so I apologize. But if you're interested, we can get that video to you guys too.
The cool thing about that one, Ben, is just that hopefully everyone saw that they went from snow in Lander, Wyoming, to the heat and the great ocean in Panama and Costa Rica. So they had a very diverse environment as they were learning about the land and sea as they traveled there.
Yeah, definitely. And then from there, that takes us to trimester 2, which is connecting across cultures. And a good way to think about this is going from physical skills to more interpersonal skills and community and relationship skills. And this takes place in Thailand, Cambodia, and India. And it's, again, a pretty huge variety, ranging from extremely rural to really, really urban, to culinary arts and hospitality and caregiving. So a lot of different experiences that are centered around working with and possibly for other people. So in this trimester, students work with the Watpo School of Massage. So they learn the art of massage and caregiving. And they work with Paul de Brule, which is a hospitality school for Cambodians. And Fair Sew, which Susie talked about earlier, they learn how to create a garment from scratch. So really starting with materials and fabric and then going on to design and everything too. And then also the Comprehensive Rural Health Program in India. So it's health and hygiene skills and rural medical assistance and caregiving and teaching. So it's taking the medical assistance and the wilderness first aid from semester 1 and taking it to really the next level past that. And Susie also mentioned the Whistling Woods International Film School. So that's a huge partner for this trimester in India. And students come away having really some videos in their portfolio of things that they've created and done research for. And this next video is Molly, another one of our students, her homemade video from her second trimester.
Mm-hmm.
Stop, take it slowly, darling. This time I'm feeling a change. Stop thinking too much about it. Love's getting even again and again. Just move with me, darling, and I'll go with you too. Can't stop, now you got me started. On top, such a beautiful view. Just move with me, darling. Sway. Just move with me, darling. Sway. Just move with me, darling. Sway. Just move with me, darling.
So a few cool things about that video. Number one, she's fine. Number two, we provide students with GoPros during the program, and they can use them really however they'd like. And they choose to make videos like this. This is not a required thing, but it's an awesome thing that they've shared with us. So we think that's pretty cool. And another thing you'll notice in that video that there's a few clips of people running down a dirt road. Winterline obviously has a lot of opportunities and pretty intense events and activities all over the world, but it also allows you to have some time to really build your own year out of it too. So 2 students found out about I guess it's not even a half marathon, it was more than that, but they found out
18 miles.
18 miles. Yeah, they found out about this huge race and decided to train for it, and then they ended up running it. So they brought their GoPro along too.
Yeah, those GoPros are crazy. I love to see what they do with them. That's really fun.
Yeah, and they've been cranking out all sorts of videos, so it's been fun seeing what they're making. So that brings us to trimester 3, which is kind of higher level thinking and skills. So it's really building your future. So it's synthesis and personal development. So it's taking everything you've done over the last 6 or so months and deciding what you want that to be in your future, really. And this trimester is in Spain, Netherlands, Germany, Austria, and then we end in the United States. So beyond the physical and interpersonal skills, we get to arts and design, technology, manual skills, really career-oriented skills, etiquette, and business planning and finance. So if a student's really into the idea of business, they should come out of this having a good sense of what it takes to make a business plan and get funding for it and things like that. And personal communication, which is invaluable way beyond any sort of school even. So we have a lot of partners obviously for this trimester too. We have the Centro de Lenguas y Educación Internacional, which is studying arts in Spain. We have the International Butler Academy in the Netherlands. My German is terrible, but Technicum Wein Robotics. So they learn how to build robots, which is what they've been working on currently. And then in the United States, we work with an organization called Yestermorrow in Vermont, and the students design and build tiny houses, which is pretty awesome. And they work in the Startup Institute here in Boston to really pitch a business. So they put together a plan and pitch a business to other experts in startups. And so each trimester does have an independent study portion, an independent project. The first trimester is a homestay, so you live with a family, and an apprenticeship. So it's around Monteverde, Costa Rica. And I talked a little bit about some of the projects that have been done in the past. But it's pretty flexible, but because it's the first trimester and we're still getting our feet wet, there's a lot of help and assistance in planning what that will be. The second trimester, the independent project, is a small group project that you travel India with. So it's 4 to 6 people. No adults that are traveling with you, so you're not having your hand held the whole time. But that's going to be centered more around self-care and health. Could be yoga, healthy eating, things like that. And then the third trimester is the real independent project. So for this one, you are solo and you self-design the project and travel in Europe. So you put together a proposal that includes budgeting, safety and risk management for that project. So you have to know what's going to go into your location and things to do it responsibly. And you do work with our field advisors in putting these together, and then also our full-time team here. So you do have a lot of support in your independent project, but this is your independent project. Susie, do you have anything to add to that?
Well, Ben, just to say, some of students in their independent projects, which will happen in 2 weeks. We have someone going to Paris to do he's going to shadow a lawyer in Paris. We have another student that is going to a dance academy, and I believe that's in Germany. We have another student who is traveling. She's looking at that were in Germany and doing some of that. So we have students doing all different things. Someone going to Italy and finding out about wine. So it's really designed on what you in a project, and then putting it all together and figuring out your budget and figuring out how you're going to get there. And because you get a set amount of money, and then you have to live for the week on that amount of money and manage to get yourself there and back to actually end up in Amsterdam when that's all done. So it's a very good project that is really working on your independent travel. And by this time in your third semester, you have learned so much about travel, and doing it is just the next. So we're looking forward to that happening in the next 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it really is a cool opportunity because you can reflect back on the first 2 trimesters, and I mean, we say 100 skills, but we have students who are counting up to this point, and they're way over 100 that they've gotten. But you can pick and choose out of those the ones that you really think are things you want to pursue later in life, and really build it to be your own. And I always say with gap years that one of the best things about gap years is being able to check things off. So you're going to have over 100 different skills, but you're going to be able to say, okay, I had no idea what I wanted to study in college or go into for a job, but this is definitely one that I don't want to. And that's as valuable as figuring out the ones that you do like too. So the independent study definitely helps with that.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
So I'm realizing that we have videos on the side of the screen for a lot of people, so I might have my face over this testimonial, so I'll read it for you. But this is from our student Molly, who made that first video again. And it says, "Every day is extraordinary. Every day I'm doing something I've never done before, and that's how I hope to live the rest of my life."
Pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right, and passing back over to Susie.
Okay, so you might be wondering, where do we stay? Because we work with so many different partners, we get to stay in lots of different accommodations, and really it depends on our partner. So for example, the picture on the left, and this is a picture of, I have a thing in front of that. This is a picture of, Alex and Benji. They're putting up their mid, and that's for their National Outdoor Leadership School. So when you're with National Outdoor Leadership School, we were in tents. Or contrastly on the right, that's Soria Moria, which is a 4 or 5 star hotel, and that's in Thailand. And so we go anywhere from hostels or hotels or tents, platforms. Really depends on where we are and what partner we're working with. We make sure that we have the accommodations that you need in order to be with our partner or close to the partner where you're going to be. For example, when they come back to Boston, they're going to be in a hostel, which is very close to all the activities that we're doing here in Boston. So it's all dependent on our partner and where we're going to be. And so it's really, you get a diverse accommodation. A lot of you are wondering about the group size, and I think there was a question for that a little bit earlier. So currently, we have 16 students, and we have 8 boys and 8 girls. And we have students that come to us from wide varieties. We have students from the United States, Mexico, Nepal, India, Colombia, and Canada. So we have a good diversity in our first year. We're very excited about it, our 8 boys and our 8 girls. Because we are a group for ages of students 18 to 22, we actually have a diversity in who our students are. We have 1 person who's graduated from college. We have 2 girls who just finished their sophomore year in college, took this as a gap year, and will then return for their junior year next year. And then the rest of our students are students that have graduated, deferred their acceptance, and now are taking this gap year and will go to college next year. So we intentionally have small groups between 16 and 18 students, and they always travel with the videos. I think I saw Nick in there. I'm not sure if I saw Beth. Our 2 field advisors this year, we have a male and a female. We'll always have a male and a female with our groups to make sure that we have the guidance that we need for all our students. And the nice thing is about our 2 field advisors for this year, Nick and Beth, they've already gotten on for next year, and they've said they want to do it again. And so we'll split them up and be in 2 different groups, and that will just add us so much knowledge as they review this whole, they're going to do this one more time, which I think is pretty cool. Our field advisors are people that are very skilled in many of the areas that we do and focus on, but they're also very good at working with groups, working with conflict resolution, because as you can imagine, 16 to 18 students might get in conflict every now and then. They also help with any of the other issues, the homesickness or issues at home or issues that they're dealing with as they go on the road. Some of our students have gotten sick, and so they're also there. They both have bonder. Actually, Nick is a former EMT, so they're able to help them if they're sick. They're able just to help. They're there to be the guides that are there, can turn to at all times to make sure that they're safe. We also have a regional director that is positioned in each of our regions, who is there to make sure that that they are there for risk management, logistics, and safety issues, because we want to make sure, like for example, we had a student fall and might have hurt his wrist. So the regional director, we had another who, traveler's diarrhea, things that will happen with some of our students. And so we made sure that the regional director helped to make sure that they were able to get what they needed when they were sick in that way. So we definitely keep our groups intentionally small, always traveling with 2 field advisors for the safety. The regional director just provides another safety net for us as we're traveling around. So you might be wondering, why Winterline? Why should I choose Winterline? Well, for a lot of reasons. Winterline's a wonderful, fabulous program. Of course, I'm going to say that. It is a wonderful, fabulous program. And as you see in some of our testimonials, students, and you'll see actually after this slide, they have really benefited from our keen ability to vet a partner and make sure that we've got the best match of a partner that's delivering our skills for our students. And that's one of the biggest things that we want to make sure happens. But always, safety is the #1 concern for us. We always want to make sure things are safe. We have vetted all our partners, vetted our places where we stay, vetted all that we have done. So we're making a safe, strong environment in which our students are living and supportive with our field advisors and regional director to make sure that the students are taken care of, but we're also teaching them as they go through their 10 countries and their 9 months. They're learning how to take care of themselves, and they're really learning that independence. And that's why we feel the independent project, which is coming up in a couple of weeks, very good time. If you ever do the independent project in the first semester or the first trimester, you weren't ready yet. Our students definitely weren't ready. And so they had to go through a lot more of the travel and understanding how to work together and do the things that they had to do, traveling through Mumbai and Thailand and Cambodia, many different places. And that in that way, they're now feeling much more confident in their travels and the independent travel. They know how to do it. They know how to do themselves. They're definitely an insured company. We have a company called 7 Corners, which helps us. The major accident or catastrophe somewhere, 7 Corners is able to help us. We had to evacuate out of a country, make sure that things were provided in a country. Just because we're in the United States, we've got to make sure that we can cover ourselves in the 9 other countries that we go to. Our partners are definitely those educational institutions that teach you how to do things, but they have them to make sure that they are strong and they have their own insurances and they do exactly what they should do safety-wise, and are we always have to be. We are AGA accredited. AGA is the American Gap Association. That company makes sure that companies are accredited to make sure that you are doing the right thing with your company. Are you safe? Have you covered all the things you need to cover? Do you have your 7 Corners insurance? So we're making sure that the AGJ make sure that we have that, and that's really important. Lastly, Winterline is going to give you the breadth of experience that you might be looking for on your gap year, like no other. We go to 10 different countries. We learn those 100 skills. It is fascinating to see what the students have learned and how they have grown ever since they started with us in September. To see where they are even now, and they still have a few, which is really exciting. Ben, would you add anything else to why Winterline?
Yeah, absolutely. Why Winterline is a big question, and there's a lot of ways to answer it. I'm gonna speak for myself personally because I did actually take a gap year myself after high school. And part of the reason I took a gap year was because my high school education was not exciting to me. And when I talked to a lot of students about gap years, and that is a main reason that a lot of students are considering a gap year is high school doesn't excite them, and that is the main form of education that they've received. So a lot of students start to think that they're not excited about learning, which is absolutely not the case. It is impossible to be bored with the program. You're doing totally different things every day, and that's going to stimulate you and make you realize that there are a lot of things you love learning about, and it'll get you fired up and ready for college too. There's a ton of statistics behind it and everything, but students who take gap years with varied experiences throughout the gap year do better in college. They're excited to be there, and they want to learn as much as possible, and that is absolutely what we do here at Winterline.
Ben, that happens is that they get very excited to want to go back to school and pursue their interests, and that's what we're hoping to expose people to lots of different things, so that hopefully they do go in with that vim and vigor to do what they want to do and then get done with college sooner and faster, which is what happens.
Yep.
So this is a testimonial from one of our parents here in Cambridge. Kate, her son is on the course right now, and it's just so great when she says she's blown away again and again by the Winterline program. Good job to all of you for the design and execution of this program. So we're very happy that she was able to say that she's very excited with what's happening, and we're excited about our parents being on board with what is happening.
And I think I did see a question about that. Are there families that people can talk to who have done Winterline? And that's definitely a yes. We have families who would love to talk about their experiences.
We have parents who are willing to talk to parents, and we have students who are willing to talk to students, and vice versa. I can't imagine that the parents wouldn't want to talk to the students also. But lots of our parents are reaching out and I India and said, can you please email this about your experience? So yes, definitely having our students reach out to those who are interested in talking to them about what's happened. So many of you may be wondering what's the cost. So what it is very similar to a year. So it's $25,000 for tuition. It's $15,000 for your travel, and your travel includes all your flights and your program activities and the support that you need with that. $15,000 for room and board, and we make sure that you're taken care of and also that you eat and all that's happening. So 50% of our students currently are on financial aid, some sort of scholarship. We do have several different scholarships listed on our website, anywhere from a media scholarship, a photo scholarship, a merit scholarship, and you just need to check on our website about that, vet those, and we make sure that we are providing the scholarship to those families in need that need it the most. But the thing that I want to make sure you remember and you realize, because it is late in March, our $1,000 early bird application discount does expire April 1st. So please get your application in as soon as you can, and then you can receive that $1,000 early bird discount, which would be great.
Awesome.
Our application process is a pretty easy process. Part one is one that you go online and you just fill out some general information. This is who you are, where you live, your parents' emails, just different things about you, so we know, are you a college student, are you a student, those kind of things that we look at. Part two is the next section that you answer. You're answering 3 essay questions, pretty easy. How would your best view? Would you hope to gain from this program? And what do you think are would be the most difficult aspect of this trip? We'll look at you. We really want to know who you are, why you're interested in Winterline, what kind of person you are. So we do those kind of things, get those 2 parts submitted, and then we ask you to ask 3 different people for recommendations. We ask you to ask a teacher, a community member, and then a parent. We're trying to make sure that we get of understanding of who, and those recommendations come in. We also have a $100 application fee. We see of you and your copy of your passport and your transcript. We're just to make sure, are you in school? What have you been doing? What courses have you been taking? Those kind of things. We then have a Skype interview. What we're really trying to do is ask you and get from you what person you are the best fit for this program. We want to make sure that we get students that are willing to, go for 9 months to 10 different countries. You're going to live on a platform or a tent into a hotel. So it's going to be lots of different things that you're going to be doing. So we want to make sure that this is right for you. You're in it for the right intentions, and you are definitely invested in what we're going to do. It's a long time. 9 months is a long time, but the breadth of things that you're going to be exposed to are just fascinating, that you get to do that. So our application process can be turned around in probably a couple weeks. Once we get everything done with a Skype interview, we do have the admissions committee review your file, and then we make sure that we're making the best choice for you, and you for us and us for you. That was right. That was right, Ben, right? I put that the right way. So it's the application process. I enjoy it because I get to learn about you as we go and get to see what's happening. And then I love the interviews just to get to know you as best I can. So hopefully it's just as much fun for them, Ben.
Absolutely. And you are right. 9 months is a long time, which is why I'm very, very excited to announce that we are launching some shorter global skills experiences. These are going to be, we're starting with semester programs that are going to be 12 weeks long, starting September of 2016. So they're coming up, and we're about to launch them on the website, and you guys are the first to hear about them tonight.
So exciting.
Yeah. So these semester programs are obviously shorter than our 9-month program. So they're a little more focused, and they're specifically focused on certain careers. So these programs are designed to connect students with real world applications and jobs in the areas of study that might interest you. So if you have an idea of, maybe there's like 1 or 2 different areas that I'd like to major in or get a job in down the road, these are focused enough on that you can really try it and see what that industry is like, and if you do want to continue in that direction. So for our semester programs, they are diverse. We have an upcoming program that's going to be centered on global entrepreneurship and innovation of business. So if you are thinking about business, or you have some ideas for new businesses and you want to know how to get them going and what the best practices are and different obstacles you would have in different parts of the world, that's an awesome option. If you're at all interested in the healthcare field, we're going to have a health medicine and wellness program in Asia. And that's going to obviously touch on healthcare in Asia, but then take it to a global scale as well. And we'll have a renewable energy and resource management program in Europe. So if you're interested in sustainability and it shouldn't be alternative, but different forms of energy, whether it's solar or wind or biodigesters, you name it, then this goes into the science behind it and the engineering and the thought process behind it too, and the business behind it. So it really attacks it from every angle and gives you a good sense of what that industry is like. Another one we'll be rolling out is around outdoor and environmental skills. So it could be outdoor education if you're interested in that. If you really just want to have more security and feel better about yourself when you're out in the wilderness, then that's a great one too. And that one's going to be in Asia. And the entrepreneurship one is going to be in the US and Asia. All of these programs will end with a 2-week practicum. So it's really going to give you a chance to work in a leading organization in that industry. So you'll see the inner workings of a pre-existing, whether it's NGO or nonprofit or company. You'll get to see how it works, and who knows, you might even have a sense of what they could be doing better and take that on your way too. Down the road, and again, you guys are the first to hear this, we are going to be launching some summer programs as well. So these are going to be 6 to 8 week summer programs starting in late June of 2017. And again, these are going to be more focused than our 9-month program. So it could be on global gastronomy and food
Mhm.
production and cooking and everything. We have arts programs, media, digital design. So really more focused programs if you do have at least an idea of what you might be interested in down the road. What do you think, Susie? Anything else on the global skills experiences?
So I want to go for 9, and I'm going to do all those. That would be a lot of fun.
Definitely an option.
I know. Sounds great.
And here is another testimonial. So this one is from one of our current students, Benji from California, who said, I came on Winterline simply to have fun, which is totally fine. But really, I am gaining a clearer image of who I am and what I love to do, which is the goal.
Mm-hmm.
So we are on social media because you have to be. And we have a lot of really fun content and interesting content to share. So because our program is so diverse, we might share things that are based on science and engineering, or it might be on arts. It might be photos and videos and blogs that are happening on the ground on our programs right now. So you can get to know our students and our field advisors. So we're pretty active, and we would love to see you on there too. And as far as the Instagram one in particular goes, these guys are in different parts of the world every day. So it's fascinating to just get to know different countries through the Instagram too.
Mm-hmm.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Any questions? So if you open up the chat box and you type in there, then Cara or Susie or I can answer some questions for you.
So there were some very good questions that came in. Maddie asked a couple questions. Still on. Answered her question about the financial aid. Hopefully that worked for her. Maddie also asked if there were multiple groups or not. We're looking to have 2 or 3, as Cara answered, 16 to 20 students in our groups, which would be great. We don't think this. Cara answered that too. That was good. And yes, Natasha, people can come after college. We have Molly is after college. It's great for her. She's having a great time.
Great.
Really good time.
I'm going to pull this back up too. So if you think of any other questions after the fact and you say, shoot, I should have typed it in, feel free to email us too.
Just definitely send us an email. Fill out your applications and send them in, and we'll be in touch as soon as they come in, which is great fun. Really good.
And if you want to just bounce ideas around too, because there's a lot of stuff that goes into gap years. And if you have your own ideas, I love talking about gap years. I like talking about mine probably too much. So I'm happy to brainstorm with people too.
Ben, you haven't talked about your gap year enough. No. Come on now.
Never. Awesome.
Really. There was a question about, do students have free time during the weekends? Louisa asked this question. And to answer that question, Louisa, there is what we call rest days on the weekends, and that's usually either in the middle of working with a partner. So for example, this weekend, our students are finishing with robotics on Friday. They have 2 rest days, Saturday and Sunday, and will travel on Monday to their next destination. And so those are free days that students can go off and do what they need to do. Actually, a group of our students are going skiing this weekend in Austria, which will be quite a huge experience. And so there is free time on the weekends depending on where the students are and what we do call them rest days, not free days, because primarily we would like our students to get some rest. Our work with our partners can be intense, but there is free time that you can do your laundry or go visit and explore the town or the city that you are in and visiting. So there is free time, and we do allow them to do that as we go. Oh, our students advised to bring their cell phones. Ben, do you want to answer that one?
So a lot of students will bring cell phones as cameras. And I can speak about this past year, but Susie, are you?
I laugh, Ben, because we've had a couple of students who brought their cell phones and they are not going home with their cell phones. In the water, someone left one on the table. What we are doing for next year is we're asking the students to bring an unlocked cell phone, and we will provide the SIM cards as they travel around, but we want a locked phone, so they're traveling in the different countries so that they're able to communicate with each other and also communicate with home as they're traveling. Are you advised to bring one? We're asking you to bring one next year, but you got to be careful because the one, Oliver did lose it in the ocean in Panama. That was pretty early for him to lose his cell phone, which was too bad for him. That's crazy. Ben, do you want to explain why we are called Winterline and what that means?
I don't have the poetry down as much as you.
Oh, Ben. I give Ben a hard time about that. I just had a student actually send me a picture of the Winterline. So we are called Winterline, or let me tell you what the phenomenon of Winterline is. That might be a little bit better. Our founder and our executive director and our VP of curriculum all went to a school called Woodstock in the Himalaya Mountains in India. And when you're in India, in the Himalaya Mountains in the wintertime, and you look out into the valley below you, there is a false horizon that is made because of the valley and the changes in the weather. And this is called the winter line. So when the sun is setting, the sun will set behind a false line. And so what I often say is it's changing people's perspectives because it changes your perspective of where that true horizon is. And so we at Winterline do change our students' perspectives. So that's why we are called Winterline, which is very interesting.
We got a few more questions here. Again, about cell phones. Definitely take good care of your cell phone, but that is definitely an option, and we can do SIM cards and Wi-Fi and everything too when we're stopped. Is there any kind of grading on the independent project? Susie, do you want to talk a little bit about the curriculum and everything?
Sure. So we don't grade in terms of A, B, C, D, E, F. We don't do those. What we're trying to do is get you to present a project that you are proud of and one that is of highlighting what you have learned. So when they did their presentation in Monteverde, they did a PowerPoint and we're talking about their homestay and their independent project. And it was really for them to share with the people that they had worked with and lived with their sincere and honest gratitude for housing them during the independent project at their homestay, but also what they had taught them. So we do present those final projects in each trimester to the groups of people that we were with, or to the final, the ISP, the independent project, independent student project that they're doing will be presented to the Winterline staff here in Cambridge when they return from being in Europe. They will explain and show us what they did on their independent project. So there's no grading of it, but there is a presentation, and our hope it is just really conveying what you've learned and your complete gratitude of the experience given.
Somebody found the Q&A box, which is awesome.
Oh, what's that?
The question is, how competitive is the application process, or do you take whoever can afford the price of admission? That's a really good question. We do not just let everybody into the program who signs up. And 9 months is a very long time, and we need to make sure that everyone who's going to be on the program has business being there and is there for the right reasons. So if a student is dragged along by their parents and kind of forced into applying, that's very obvious, and that's not really who we're looking for. We want people who are going to be engaged and really a part of the program and have things to contribute. That's part of why we have our application process too, because we get a really good feel for what you can bring to the group and to the program, what we can bring to you, because we don't want it to be pointless for you either. So we have, and then on top of that, we want to make sure that it's a good fit, logistically, safety-wise, health and everything. So we do talk a little bit with everybody about their needs. And if it's things that we can't really accommodate, then that's a conversation we'll have. So no, we do not accept everybody. But at the same time, if you're worried at all about group dynamics or anything like that, this is a very self-selecting program. We get the coolest people because it's people who are game for anything. Throughout 9 months, you're going to have to do a lot of, well, not have to, but you are going to do a lot of totally different things. And a very, very special type of person is up for that.
That's very true. Ben, I often say So we're looking for students who are willing to get down and get dirty. You are going to get dirty. You are going to be doing a lot. And you've got to be willing to do that. If you're not willing to do that, this is not the right program for you. And that's the biggest thing, is we want to make sure that you are the right fit for us and we are the right fit for you. That's a key. Leonora asked another question here, how to get in touch with a current Winterline student and talk to them. In order to do that, just send me an email and I can easily connect you with one or two of our students and have you talk with them, or they will send you emails back and forth. So yes, that's something we want you to ask them how it is really on the ground. How have they experienced it? What has it been like? And it's the same way we will connect parents with parents if a parent is curious about talking with a current Winterline parent also.
I think that's an awesome thing to do, and I actually did that myself yesterday. I called up a group of 6 of the students on the ground, and I just started asking them questions because I love hearing what the heck they're doing. There's so much cool stuff going on, and they have a lot of really good insights. So they're a good resource, and I definitely recommend reaching out to them.
They're a fabulous resource. Fabulous, fabulous resource. Any other questions? Did we miss a question, Cara, or we are good? I think we answered all of them. There's another question in the chat box.
And again, if anybody has any lingering questions after the fact, this is our contact info up here, and we're always happy to talk. So
Definitely.
If not,
We did, Ben, it's 7:58.
all right. Well, yeah, if there are no other questions, then I guess we will sign off, and you can reach out if you do have any other questions or want to get in touch. And we will, I'm sure, be hosting more of these in the future. So thank you, everybody, for coming, and have a good evening or afternoon, depending on where you are.
So thank you so much for your time. Please get in touch if you have any other questions. We'll look forward to talking with you. Thanks so much, and have a great night and a great afternoon.